inquiry charts. Woo!
Yes. All right. So part of your color team, before I jump too much into inquiry chart, is going to be, I'm going to be focusing on team points. So one of the structures that we have in place are these color teams, team points, and something we called numbered heads. And so I'm going to give just briefly each of you a spoon, and it has a number on it, and that will be your numbered head number. So if you'll write it on the label of your colored folder, then you know what your number is throughout the day. And so we use these as a tool to just make sure that we're hearing all the voices in our classroom. Also to be sure that we're holding all of them accountable. Go ahead and jot that number down and then I'll take it back. And then, yeah, just write it on your label there. And then we also use it to build that sense of teamwork and camaraderie, helping one another. So if I called on a student, say I called on green 2 and green 2 was looking at me deer in the headlights, I would then give them an opportunity. Hey, you have a team members. Team members help each other. If you're on a soccer team together, you're not fighting each other over the ball. You're helping each other get the ball. And so numbered heads is one of those structures that's part of our color teams, just to help build that sense of community and teamwork and working together. So earlier, I saw some great working together, and so I want to highlight that. So we use this collaboration chart, and if we were in a classroom, I would have you brainstorm at your teams characteristics of what collaboration is. But this is one that we had already done in the interest of time, and so we were highlighting what is collaboration? What does that mean to you? And these were some of the students' response. Together, we trade or compromise, conjoining, drawing, speaking, mixing, combining, and listening. And so those were some of the ideas the students came up with. And then I might do a little word lesson with them. How many of you have ever heard of any words that have the word co at the beginning? Like co-worker. What does that mean if it's a co-worker? That means they work together. And so together is a part of the word collaboration. So it's part of a word that could help us maybe know what it means even more fully. Another part of that word is the word chunk labor. How many of you have ever heard the word labor before? Yeah, and so we get lots of good examples like having a baby. My mom was in labor. Oh, I learned about Cesar Chavez and the labor unions. They were workers. And so we said, yes, that is...
South to the cafeteria, south to the cafeteria.
That is an example of working. So if we looked at this, collaboration might mean working together. Everybody say that. Working together. Collaboration might mean what? Working together. So we'll use that to help us. So if we're working together as a team, what might you see? So if the principal came and peeked in the window and we were all working as teams, working together, collaborating, what might he see? And the students said things like facing each other, writing ideas and thoughts, heads nodding because we're agreeing with each other, looking at notes or information. And then we talked about what would it sound like? What would he hear if he was behind the door and he didn't come look in, but he could hear us from the door because he didn't want to interrupt us? He would hear us talking using inside voices, saying things like, I agree with you, using academic language, saying things like, I disagree, I think, or I know, and pencils writing. He'd have to listen really carefully to hear that. But those are just some examples of building what collaboration is. And then that's what we give team points for. So when you were working together in your teams earlier, I had asked you to share your 2 to 3 words or phrases, and I saw lots of people doing that. So I'd like to give red team. We don't have a red team. Let's go to blue team. So we have blue, green, and purple. This is if we have like 32 kids in our class. All right, so blue team, right over there. Yes, I heard them jump right in, got involved, sharing each other. They were listening to each other when the others were speaking. I did see some heads nodding because there was some agreement. I'm going to give them 5 points for blue team. Good job, blue team. Green team. Yes, green team did the same. They were engaged, paying attention to each other. I saw heads nodding. They were jotting ideas when it was time to write, and they definitely were using inside voices. So I'm going to give 5 points to green team as well. Good job, green team. And purple team, you have 3 members, but you all took turns sharing with each other, similar to the blue team, sharing examples. And we were wrapping up, and your third person hadn't quite finished, but you attended to him and let him finish when I was starting to bring people back. So 5 points for green team. Oh, purple. Sorry, purple team, purple, 5 points. Woo! All right, so we'll be coming back to that. So today, next we're going to do an inquiry chart. And an inquiry chart is similar to a KWL chart. What we already know, what we want to know, and what we learned. However, we incorporate it into 2 columns, what we already know and what we want to know, and then we revisit both columns throughout the course of the unit, every few days or once a week, depending how long our unit is. So the observation charts that you saw a little while ago, the pictures and the comments would be a great lead-in to the ideas that you would include on that inquiry chart of what we already know and what we want to know. We did observation charts based on ancient China, and we did observation charts just to give you an example. We would never do 2 at a time with our students, but just to give you an example of some of the topics or images you might use. And we did some on the brain. However, our inquiry chart is about today's focus of this entire session together. It's about GLAD, Guided Language Acquisition and Design. So we'd like you to take a moment in your teams to think about 1 or 2 statements that you would include of what you already know about GLAD, and 1 or 2 of what your team would like to know about GLAD. So make sure that each of your teammates, if you want to jot it on your sticky note or on your handout, that is fine, but every team member should be in agreement of 2 things that we already know and 2 things we want to know, and then we'll build our inquiry chart from that. All right, so go ahead in your teams. Okay, just 1 or 2 things of that what you already know about GLAD, and 1 or 2 things that you'd like to know about GLAD. And it could be things we've already shared today. It could be things you've learned in the past. Right. The lull has occurred, so we've already exhausted our ideas and such. So I'd like to ask my green 2, if you would share with us, what was one of the things that your team wanted to know or already knows about GLAD?
We had one member that was already familiar with it. She said color coding is part of it.
All right. Color coding is part of GLAD. Thank you. All right, blue 2. Oh, blue 2. Looking at her shirt. Who's blue 2? You could hand him the mic.
30.
We don't have a 2?
Okay. Would you be blue 2 for us, sir?
One thing because we're new to this, so we kind of just put it together that it's for English learners. So
All right.
That's what we kind of just put together.
Excellent. Thank you. It's for English learners. Thank you, blue team. And purple team, number 2? Do we have a 2? All right. She'll just randomly choose.
Okay, friend, could you be our purple too?
Okay, so one of the things that we know is that GLAD stands for Guided Language Acquisition Design.
Nice.
Excellent. So GLAD stands for Guided Language Acquisition
That's
Design. I might put a SP in case I spelled that wrong. I got sloppy there.
My grandmother would call that a high dollar word right
High
there.
dollar, because she's from Arkansas. All right. Thank you. Acquisition. So thank you, purple team. Green team, number 1. Who? What's another thing that you already know about GLAD? Did you have another one? Who's number 1?
It incorporates kinesthetic learning.
All right. Kinesthetic learning. So it incorporates kinesthetic learning. All right. Can you repeat after me this first one? Color coding is part of it.
Coding is part of it.
It's 4 ELs.
It's 4 ELs.
Stands for Guided Language Acquisition Design.
Stands for Guided Language Acquisition Design.
And incorporates kinesthetic learning.
Incorporates kinesthetic learning.
All right. Who's our number 1 in blue team? What's another one that you already know? Did you have another one?
Basically, we all agreed that this is the first time we learned from it today, so that's just what we went off of paying attention.
All right. First time learning about GLAD. Excellent. That's wonderful for us. Thank you, blue team. And purple 1.
Okay, I guess that's me again. It says that it's inclusive for all students.
Okay, inclusive for all students. Everyone say that. Inclusive for all students. Wonderful. All right. And green 4. What's something you would like to learn about GLAD? Green 4.
Well, that's me. More strategies that can help.
Okay, you'd like to learn more strategies. Thank you, green team. Blue 4.
Is this going to be integrated into the entire curriculum
Okay.
across all subjects?
Is it integrated into all curriculum, all subjects? Was grades part of it also? All grades?
No.
That wasn't part of your question. All curriculum, all subjects. Actually, I'll make that. All right, thank you, blue team. Purple 4. What would you like to know about GLAD?
How is it evaluated and assessed in the classroom?
All right. How is it evaluated and assessed in the classroom? All right. Let's read these together. Reading together. Ready? What do we want to know about GLAD? Ready? More strategies integrated into all curriculum or subjects. How is it evaluated or assessed in the classroom? Great, thank you. Green 3. Green 3, something else you'd like to know?
My question was taken.
All right, if there's one already there, let's mark it because it's pretty important.
I did set the more strategies.
Okay. Thank you. We'll put a check so we know that's really big. How about blue 3? Something else you wanted to know?
Yeah, is it just all strategies, or is it an actual curriculum as well, or is it both, or?
All right. All right, is it an actual curriculum? Thank you. And purple 3, purple 3.
What resources are available to assist teachers?
All right. What resources are available to assist teachers? That's a question mark. All right, repeat after me the last couple of things that we want to know. Is it an actual curriculum?
Is it an actual curriculum?
What resources are available to assist teachers?
What resources are available to assist teachers?
All right, excellent. We will be revisiting this, and our goal is that throughout the course of today's session, we will respond to much of this. We'll confirm or correct any of the things we already know, and then respond to what we're still wanting to know if we haven't done so by the end. So we'll revisit to reflect just like we would in our classrooms during a unit. So Amy's going to go ahead and give some team points.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I need that one in a minute.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Use lots of markers. Okay, all right. Well, I saw blue team solve a great problem. They didn't have all of the numbers, so we had somebody step up and take care of business there. So we'll give blue team 5 points.
All right.
Green team, when your friend stopped, you worked together to give support to your friend so they could answer. So we'll give green 5 points.
All right.
And purple did the same thing. When they had the problem, they didn't have the numbered head that was called on. Our friend stepped up and took care of that problem.
All right.
Okay, so that's 5 points. All right.
All right.
Right now, all our teams are tied.
I know, but I do want to, I'm going to break it because
Oh.
I haven't learned your name yet. Yes.
Ariana?
Ariana,
Uh-huh.
she was very helpful. You know how the one says looking at your notes or information as part of collaboration, and she kind of handed hers over so her teammate could see it to confirm what we were talking about. So thank you for that. So 2 more points for them.
All right. All
Good
right,
job.
purple
Thank you.
team.